Hi, I want to talk about the phrase balanced diet and the fact that people always tell you you have to have a balanced diet. And the way I think about it is instead of having a balanced diet, make sure the food you eat is balanced already. And then you don't need to worry about balancing your diet out too much with all this other stuff like supplements, superfoods, um, various sort of rare kind of herbs, probiotics, things, and then standard things like dairy, meat, starches, veggies, whatever. So, um, yeah, so if the majority of your calories are coming from food that is deficient and you will, go downhill on if that's all you live off, then you do need to balance out your diet. But it's not really balancing your diet, it's like making up the rest of your diet. So your diet's deficient, you need to make up the rest of it. And that's not really balancing, that's just making something complete. Um, is it? I don't know. Maybe that is balance. But if your food you eat's already balanced, it's like, so if you look at fruit and you say, well, it's got carbohydrate content, high amount, good carbohydrate content, it's got a low amount of fat, the amount that we need, but not too much to make us overweight or obese or make our system start to slow down to too much fat. Enough protein, but not too much protein so that we're putting too much, strain on our body to deal with all this protein that we don't really need because we don't need that much protein. And everyone brings up mother's milk's 5% protein and all that stuff. I don't really want to go into the science of it, but you see people that are living off fruit for a long time. They're not unmuscular. They're not like it's not like the hairs all falling out and the teeth are all out or something. I don't know what protein deficiency is because it doesn't really exist because in the reality it only happens if you're not eating enough food. So all sorts of other things would happen to you before you got deficient in protein. And in reality, when you start to use up your muscle, your body, it's because you're deficient in glycogen. So you have to break down something into glycogen, otherwise your cells aren't eating anything. Your body can recycle the protein you've got, do it pretty well. Sorry to say, once again, I'm not a scientific authority and all this. But yeah, so the fruit is balanced. Now, I don't know, maybe some people want to or need to supplement some other stuff in or add some other stuff in. And I know that 8-10-10 recommends greens and other vegetables. So that's cool. If you have a good taste for that and you enjoy that. I would say though that in reality and in an ideal situation, if we were out in nature and we didn't know anything about nutrition, we'd just be eating delicious fruit all the time. Why not? I can see benefits kind of with using leaves functionally as a kind of plate or something. I've heard that some monkeys do like take leaves and um, fruit together and eat. And also like leaves, they catch rainwater, so they're a good thing to drink out of. You might have seen videos of like monkeys tipping the leaves and drinking the rainwater that's collected in them. That's pretty cool. So yeah, and the other phrases people say, uh, what's the other one? Balanced diet, everything in moderation is the other one. So I think that works for a lot of people though, to be honest. But I was never really a very good moderate eater. I would tend to find things that I liked and eat a lot of it, and it never hurt me too much physically. I didn't put on too much weight and things like that, but because I was always a wee bit aware of how I felt in my body and certain foods, especially really high fatty foods, it kind of slows you down and you learn to not have too much of it. But some people do that, and I believe that's how you end up putting on weight. You just overdose on that stuff and then you can't exercise or do anything. You just want to sit in and do nothing. But I was a major sugar eater, and when you have all that, uh, you know, whether it's Coke, whether it's I had children's sweets, and I don't know if it was like an inner child issue or something, but I used to eat like loads of kids' sweets, and I loved it, and I never really drank alcohol, so that was like my addiction for being a teenager. Maybe I was rebelling against being an adult or something, because I saw my childhood friends start to drink and do all this adulty stuff, and I was like, why is everyone trying to change into an adult? Uh, so I rebelled by eating sweets. Maybe I don't know psychological stuff there. Um, but yeah, when you're an absolute sugar fiend like that, sugar monster, it just just packs you full of energy to go and do something, but then totally brings you down after that, and you go, whoa, you know. So what you want is the once again balance, where you get the fruit, balance the energy, balance the amount of whatever your carbohydrates, proteins, your water in it, loads of stuff. You don't get dehydrated on it, but you should probably still have some water if you want. Um, yeah, but in moderation, like in reality, you shouldn't really be. If a food if there's a food where you have to eat it moderately, it's probably bad for you, in the long run, and you should probably try and cut it out. And the foods that are good for you, there's no way to eat them in moderation. There's no eat lettuce in moderation or eat bananas in moderation or mangoes or who's no one's overeating on the fruit anyway. Not like in standard society. There's no danger of anyone. And literally, what government should say is eat as absolutely as much fruit as you possibly can. That and people would maybe then start eating a healthy level of fruit, but they don't. So no one's gonna overeat in fruit. I see people when when they bring in fruit, like even if it's really good, like a friend of my work brought in some grapes and they were sitting beside me, and she was like picking one every like half an hour or something. And she offered me the grapes, and I just tore through the grapes because that's what it's all about. You love you don't eat grapes in moderation. You eat grapes absolutely as much as you like, all day, every day. The other um, the other phrase people say to me, a little bit of what you fancy does you good. I don't know if that's like a Scottish phrase or a UK phrase, but it's one of these things you have in a debate on if nutrition comes up or food, and I'm trying to hit people with truth bombs. Not that I really do that, but sometimes people pin me into the corner and try and speak about diet and fruit stuff, and I start attack back with you know ethics and dogma and stuff, and vegan stuff and all that. But I don't take it seriously. If people ask you about protein, I'm not going to even give an answer for that. I'm like, I don't eat protein. I don't care about protein. Leave me alone. I don't care about nuts or like do have some nuts sometimes, but I don't care about what's the other thing like flax seeds. Like, oh yeah, if you're vegan, you eat flax seeds or something. Like what? Don't worry about this stuff. You know. So you don't have a diet where you're worrying about, I better have a salad now and then because you want to just eat well, man. Um, yeah, a little bit of what you fancy. That thing that you fancy for most people is probably something you're addicted to. Um, Probably like chocolate or something just addictive. Refined sugar products, addictive, high fat usually. Um, what else? Coffee. Coffee's eaten too much. I guess people fancy that. It's addictive. Cooked foods are sort of I mean, more addictive than fruit for sure. Like nothing. Fruit is the only thing you just cannot get addicted to, and yet you like it. Like you enjoy the taste of it, but you're not sitting there like wide-eyed looking at the bananas. Like I'm gonna steal that person's bananas because I can't take it. You know. Uh, but yeah, well, maybe you would do that, but coming up to 10 minutes here, so I'll try and keep it short. Uh, yeah, so all these old lifestyles, they work in terms of standard diet, and if you've got a standard diet like that, you totally want to, if you want to live long, keep it really moderate. The things that you fancy that do you good, keep them really rarely have them like now and again, but fill your life with fruit and you fill your life with food and that you enjoy, that's healthy for you, that you can eat in abundance. You don't need to worry about the levels. You won't get fat on it. Um, you'll you'll be going through all this healing and detox naturally. You don't have to worry about any degenerative diseases related to food. It's just a worry and a stress off your life, and it is tough to start it, but get on it. And all my friends out there who are like going back to cook food now and then, get away from it, right? Because wait, you need to start being an example for people, right? I mean, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you can't get fruit, then listen, there's always some orange juice you can get. There's always something, stay away from the cooked stuff, you know. Anyway, see you later. Bye.